Welcome back. This is The Pick.
Welcome back to the show, you guys.
And we're going to be doing TCU in Texas. This is a college football preview for week 4. And TCU is favored by 3 points. I think it's going to be actually a little more points favored for TCU.
Yeah.
I do have them winning this game. I think that TCU is a pretty good team. They're not a great team. I think they're a little shakier on defense than they've been in the last few years. But I think they're a little better on offense, though. Their Robinson kid's really good. Their receivers are decent. They just kind of choked, honestly, in that situation against Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Really, just not as talented. I think they got a few bad calls in their favor. I think that a lateral was actually lateral,
right,
not a forward pass. I think that was a bad call. And if they would have got that touchdown, I think that would have changed the momentum. But anyway, yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But anyway, so I think TCU's winning this game.
Mm-hmm.
Keys for me for TCU is, if you make Allen didn't throw some picks, Sam Darnold-esque, you're definitely winning this game. Because Allen is pretty good, but he's turnover prone, and clutch situation he's definitely turnover prone. So, but if he plays really well, he's a key from my Texas pick, player of the game. I wonder if he could play really well, then I definitely have a chance of them winning.
Mm-hmm.
Back-to-back weeks, he's my player of the week for them, and if he plays really well against this defense, I'm going to be impressed.
Yeah.
I'm a little higher on him than other OU fans and other people in the media. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. It's just he has a turnover issue, and in the situations that you really need him not to do that, kind of does that. So, and for the player of the game for TCU is their quarterback, Robinson. He's amazing, kind of. I mean, he can be amazing, let's say that. But he's pretty good. He's a freshman, or he's a underclassman. I don't know exactly what.
I think he's a sophomore.
Sophomore? Okay.
So.
Anyway, he's young. He's younger than a junior.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's pretty good, and I think he has a really bright future. And I think TCU is a better coach. I have no confidence in Pee Wee Herman. People thinking Texas is bad because they beat USC. I think that's kind of ridiculous.
Relax.
USC's not a good team. They kept in game with Tulsa, and they got beat by a bad Maryland team. So let's relax. But if they win this game, then I'll shut up and talk on Monday and eat some crow. But until that happens, I'm gonna keep on talking my stuff about Texas.
Right. Yeah, man. I got TCU winning this ball game, man. I just think they're overall going to be more prepared. I think they're going to be very upset after this loss against OSU, Ohio State, because they had the ball game in their hands, and I think I agree with Adam, man. I think eventually, over time as the game went on, I think the talent for OSU kind of just overwhelmed them on both sides of the ball, and it caught up to them. And yeah, man, I think they're going to be upset about that, and they're going to be really on point and on key on both sides of the ball, man. I do like TCU's offense, but I think I like their defense a little bit better. I think their defense is pretty sharp. Like I said, I just think they on both sides of the ball they fell apart because of talent gap. But I think, like I said, they're going to be ready for Texas, and I think that defense is going to cause Ellinger to throw some interceptions and possibly pick 6. So, yeah, man, I think keys for TCU is that stay very sound on defense. You got a pretty good offense, so I wouldn't worry about them. I would worry about that defense getting some turnovers and causing a ruckus for that game. And keys for Texas, man, is try to keep everything in front of you. Don't try to do anything fancy, man, because like I said, I think that defense is pretty legit for TCU. So, yeah, don't do any like too crazy gadget plays. Just try to keep everything in front of you. Key player for TCU is going to be Sean Robinson, their quarterback again. It's going to be my second week picking him, man. I think he's just a really talented man. Like I said, he's been leading the team in passing and rushing. He's been doing it all, really, man, and he's a super talented quarterback. At times he looks very, very sharp, and yeah, there are times he looks like he needs to improve on some things, like deep ball accuracy. I think could be a bit better. He's pretty good on throwing on the run, I think, but yeah, if he can get a little better on, the deep ball passes, I think he's gonna definitely become a lot better quarterback. And I don't necessarily have a key player for Texas, I got a key group, which is I think that offensive line is going to have to be the key group to get it done. Because if they don't, Ellinger's just going to get harassed and probably throw a lot of picks if they don't get help him stay upright and stuff like that. Yeah, my key player, key group, as I would say, was that offensive line for Texas. Yeah, man, that about covered me. I think TCU win by like 17.
Other keys for Texas is their tackles. They got a guard, Ben Bangu, or however you say his name. That guy's a really great player. The rush ends for TCU is really good. Interesting stat before we get out of here is TCU is 5-1 since they joined the Big 12 against Texas.
Wow.
Since 2012. So TCU kind of has their number. If Texas can get this win, it's going to be a big win for their program. Big win for Tom Herman, and if they can win this game, I think their that narrative of Texas being back kind of being a little more good.
Yeah, I'm not going to say if they win this. I mean, yeah, it's a big win, but I'm not going to just jump on a limb and say they're back quite yet. But if they win this game and then keep going and look good and maybe even beat us, then okay, then Texas is back. Yeah. To me, that's my opinion on that is. So if Texas is back, then they need to be leading the Big 12, and
or at least not being terrible,
or at least be even second. Like there's a lot of times they're not even second. It's OSU or somebody else. Like
Virginia, TCU.
Yeah, if you guys are even want to be considered as you guys being elite Texas, as far as the other teams that's been elite for Texas, you gotta at least be second or better. So. And you guys haven't been, so.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, that's all I've got to say about that.
Yeah, I covered everything here.
Alright, well, this is the pick.
Please like, subscribe. Of course, we would love to hear your guys' thoughts, so hit us down in the comments below, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you for watching.